Yo, what up YouTube? Topaz Yates back with another live from the underground here. We go in on particular topics of what's going on in the day, and not going to be on here too long for today because I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to be working on the mixtape reviews or the album review or whatever I'm going to go ahead and do tonight. But I wanted to go ahead and tap in for a moment because the Lil Durk $1 million worth of game just concluded and I was able to catch it live, which is dope. Like, ultimately using this as promotion because his new album 7220 is dropping tonight, which what they said was it's going to be a collaboration project, and everybody that was in the venue, well, the vast majority of them that were rappers, they were in there and they all got a chance to introduce themselves and give a freestyle rap, maybe give a brief little introduction, maybe give the catchphrase. As I feel as though the individual who his name is Dummy, how he said what he was saying, he's probably gonna get remembered more than the rest of them. But keep that always in mind that these podcasts has now become like the promotional circuit. And people are going to be using these from the Joe Budden podcast to $1 million worth of game to you name them, all the big ones that got a lot of numbers. People are going to be coming to do interviews on those in order to promote the new album as Lil Durk is doing here, which is smart. It goes to show you he's a very smart intellectual individual. That's why he survived in the game for as long as he has, and he's still building based off of independence. You feel me? But for those of you who don't know $1 million worth of game, this is one of my favorite interview joints. I don't really do much reactions to it because I'm rather new to it, but one of my favorites because the entire concept is to give away $1 million worth of game every time you're talking to individuals, and if you're watching it, you can pick up on it. Therefore, if you're an independent rapper, somebody trying to be in entertainment industry at all, this is a must watch. Now, given it does have its ignorance to it, it's not the taste for everybody, you dig, but it's right up my alley. I actually rather enjoy it. Now, one thing that I will say though, going back to having the whole squad that Lil Durk is pretty much putting on, getting them a chance to introduce themselves, like, you see how rappers actually end up being, like, when you give an individual a shot, a moment, this is going to be one of the most viewed interviews online as soon as it drops, as soon as it gets dropped live, you dig? Why y'all acting like y'all too good to hop up on? Why y'all pretending like y'all can't say nothing? Like, if anybody puts a microphone in Kanye West's face, he's gonna say something, and that's Kanye today. Kanye back when he was at back when Genius was being filmed and all that, when he was trying to become something, that's when he was the most hungry, when it didn't matter if you pass him the mic or not. He's gonna try to find a way to get involved, to get seen, to say something on there. But these individuals on here were acting like they were too scared to promote themselves for an opportunity. You never want to do that. Closed mouths don't get fed. This is something that's consistent in life and in entertainment mainly. If you're gonna sit there, you're gonna be too cool, you think people gonna care about anything that you do, anything that you say, you got to have something, some kind of talent, some kind of music, some kind of something in order to like be deserving of this attention, but yet you can't shy away from that attention. You got to constantly be fighting for it, and I know that makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable. That makes a lot of people feel like, oh, you're just being petty. Everything got to be about you. As an artist, everything has to be about you, or else nothing's going to be about you. This is why I tell people all the time that being an artist, you have to have that selfishness. You gotta have that ego in order to feel that way so that you can get that attention that you are deserving of. But if you don't feel that way, then you're not going to get the attention that you feel as though that you need, that you feel as though you're deserving of, that you feel as though your music deserves. Like, you got to go out of your way. You got to be that jerk. You got to be that guy that's fighting for every bit of attention if you're at that point where you're ready to get it. Now, it be the people that are clearly trash, that clearly need to shut up and be in the back and just sit back and learn from people that's actually doing it. Those be the people that's always trying to say something, that's always trying to do something. Those be the people that need to just chill out. But if you are prepared and you are ready to go and you are getting into this promotional space, then you need to snatch the attention that you need to get. Point blank, period. And it's something else that they said in this interview, like, yo, you gotta treat rapping like it's a job. And this job happens to be 24/7. It's not no you work at Bojangles or Chick-fil-A, whichever like fast food chain that you know, where you just going through from 12 to 5 doing the least just to get a check and then walk off mad and tired and stuff. Like, nah, it ain't that kind of job. This is more of, okay, I work for Puff Daddy. I'm not getting paid like that kind of job, but yet by me being around it all the time, I can find my own means of getting paid. I can get people to co-sign me to get paid. I can be around everything that's necessary in order to get the massive amounts of money. You gotta treat this like that kind of job, not just a regular kind of job where they saying, oh, you need to go ahead, be in the lab, when you can be in like schedule being in the lab and do just all the music in the lab. Like I'm in the lab from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock just recording. Yeah, do that. That's cool. That's what Eminem does. For those of you who forgotten, like Eminem gave an interview like, yeah, you know, there would be times where he be in the lab all the time, but now that he got a family, now he got things to do outside, he got businesses and stuff to run, so therefore he's not in the lab 24/7. Like he schedules his time. He goes in, puts in as much time as he can for that, then he goes on and lives a life, then comes back. That's cool. Because especially given the fact that, you know, it costs to be in the studio. A lot of people just be in the studio wasting time. Everything that you trying to do in the studio, you could probably do that at the crib. You don't necessarily need to be paying studio time wages to engineers and to these studios to be doing what you're doing. But if you got something prepared and ready to go, have it ready to go for the timeline that you have. But then the rest of this job, like you gotta realize the job isn't just recording. Recording is just one small element of being in the entertainment field. Selling your content, what's bringing in the money. Whether it's merchandise, whether it's interviews, whether all of that, that's all part of the job too. So recording can be scheduled for a small part, but then the rest of it, you gotta be going hard like you're starving to get a chance, regardless of if you're at Lil Durk's level where he's been consistently known in the game and he built up his own independent stream and he's going to be good no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're on that level or if you're a person that's trying to get it out the mud right now. You have to go hard at this constantly, 24/7. Like, you gotta wake up passionate, you gotta wake up hungry, you gotta wake up like, yo, it's time for me to go ahead and get this. You feel me? Another really key thing that was said about that in particular, like, look, the competition is fierce. That's why you got to go hard like this. You feel me? Like, even your friends, the people that you trying to put on, even those people that were in the room with Lil Durk, that Lil Durk is giving chances to shine. All of that is his competition, because the amount of dollars that's going to be getting paid is limited to a degree, and is going to whoever these individual people who's paying the dollars actually feel like they should pay it to, who actually is giving them the best quality of music. That amount of money that's getting paid out to people is limited. It's not guaranteed, and it's not going to continue decline. So therefore, everyone who's trying to lay their hands on the microphone, they're competing for that dollar. That's limited. That's going to go, because I mean, independent acts, especially when you look at Lil Durk being more independent now than ever because he's no longer with the mainstream. But every dollar that somebody is paying, you have a dog in that fight. You got a chance of getting that money, but yet that's going to go to whoever that person feels as though they need to support, or whoever is going to give them the content that they want to pay for. So therefore, you got to go hard. It doesn't matter if these is your people, Doesn't matter if the direct competition within your city. Doesn't matter if these is people coming over from Japan because they're becoming an international act. They're all competing for that same dollar that you trying to get, especially if they in your genre. So with that being in mind, you got to go hard and be prepared. Like in terms of me playing Street Fighter, for those of you who watch this channel, like I've gone for a while. Like I haven't done one in a minute, but I still play Street Fighter all the time. Anybody who picks up a controller to play Street Fighter, they can potentially beat me in an online match, regardless of if it's a lag environment or they could be just better than me. Anybody who puts a finger on that controller is my direct competition because I want to be the best. I want to beat you. So therefore, I want to learn your playstyle. I want to learn how you treat things. I want to learn your unique ways of going about this. So therefore, I can use it against you when the time is right, and I can beat you for whatever tournament money that comes around. Everything is like that because life is a competition. Like from who's gonna get the baddest chick that's in the club at the time. It's a competition because the chicks is trying to get whoever is going to give them the most at that particular time, or whoever they find the most attractive, or whatever is going on in that moment. It's a competition. You have to put your bid in. You can't sit there try to be cool thinking that these chicks is just gonna come up and holler at you. No, you got to show them, yo, I'm your best option of a person to leave this club with that actually can get you anything in this life. That's actually going to do you right. That's actually going to protect you. That's actually going to give you the gratification physically that you so desire. At the end of the day, you're going to have to outcompete everyone that's there. When you understand this and realize how to emphasize what you're best at, then you're going to be okay. But just understand, whenever you're around people and everybody's trying to vie for anything in general, that's your competition. You got to outdo them. I'm not saying trick off. I'm not saying do the most for these women that don't deserve the most. I'm saying know your competition, outdo your competition, and do it in a means that's right for you. If someone is outbidding you, then let it go. If you're going up against a competition that you cannot beat, push your album back. That's why whenever Kanye actually does drop something and he was actually on time, a lot of people would push their albums back because ain't no way you can compete with that. Ain't no way you can outsell that. That's 50 Cent tried, and it really got bad for 50. But let's continue. Another piece of game that I felt was very important that was said there, how they say, yo, having the labels push you with nothing but dollars, using social media like buying up all your views and stuff, that's not good for your status because it forces you to lose track of what's actually going on. Like, that's what I like about social media. Like, it's a double-edged blade. Like, a lot of people are faking the funk, trying to get as many subscribers and views and all that stuff as possible so that they can look a kind of way for labels to give them attention. But what all does that mean for you if none of it equates to actual sales, if none of it equates to actual viewership? You can con these people into giving you a $200,000 like little moment, you dig, which, okay, say they give you $100,000 to record an album, to do all that, to be part of the label. When those numbers don't come back, you owe these people. You pretty much just took a business loan and you didn't have anything. You didn't have a business. You didn't have anything that was going to turn this loan into something. Sure, you got the cash, but now, and for the most part, dudes who get the cash, they blow it on dumb stuff like, oh, I gotta look the part of a rapper instead of actually being the rapper. It's not a good look at all on any level. So therefore, it's pointless because you're setting yourself up to fail. Sure, the few people who actually can be fooled into thinking that, oh, you actually look like you're being successful, we should actually invest in you. When you burn these people by not getting the sales and all that stuff, man, you've lost everything that you conned your way up to do, and you're never going to get it back. Your career is over before it even began because you faked it till you made it, and you made it, but it was fake, so therefore you got nothing. You wasted your one opportunity. Instead of actually building from the ground up and actually doing it yourself, instead of actually being a man of your own world and stuff, man. Like, when you look at everything that I do on my channel, I got multi-million views. I'm over 2 million in views. I don't know exactly where because, hey, I've been peaking as of late. I would have to go and look at the numbers. But my numbers are solid. All of these numbers are because of the amount of work that I put in. I don't got the subscription base. So therefore, I know, based off the fact that I know I don't have the subscription base, but yet people are watching me though, that tells me something. That tells me that I can get these views. My promotional habits of how I'm doing these videos, that is working. But maybe the content that I'm doing isn't really attracting people to actually want to subscribe consistently. It's telling me more things than me just faking all of my numbers so that I can look a kind of way to get whatever benefit that I could get, which it would really be pointless. You dig? This is a very important thing. Social media is a good indication of your notoriety. That's something that was never there before. Like, before social media, people would just have to be, yo, I heard your stuff getting played in the cars of all the people in the streets. You really didn't have an actual measurement of what somebody is actually doing. And that's all that social media is really great for. But people take it and twist it into something that it really shouldn't be. The next thing that I found that was super interesting that was said, it's when, Gilly the Kid and Wallow started giving out more and more game. Like, they started going into the merchandising game. As Lil Durk is about to go on tour because he's about to drop the album. He's using this as a promotional pit stop as he's clearly got a tour lined up. And they all had their own hoodies, in which the hoodies was pressed up by somebody that was within the team. And he gave the homie the whole game, like, look, man, you need to go ahead and press up as many of those as you can before you actually go out on this tour, where the tour is going to be 17 cities. When you go out there on tour and the whole team is rocking your shorts, people are going to take notice, and that's Lil Durk right there. Whatever Lil Durk is wearing, it's the same thing that his fans are going to want to wear because they want to buy all of his products. They want to buy his music, don't they? They bought tickets to come see him. So if they see him in this uniform and everybody in the squad is dressed up in that uniform, he feels as though he needs to be in that uniform. So he broke it down like, yo, press up as many as you can and move them joints one-on-one. And you'll make a killer. You could make, like, as long as you ain't selling them for like 500 like he said that he wanted to do, but as long as you just sell them in bulk and move them joints, you can walk away from that tour making more money than maybe Durk got off of ticket sales. It's plausible. It happens. Merchandise moves more than actual ticket sales. It moves more than actual sales of albums. It moves more than actual streams, even though you get more streams, but the money that's within the streams is nowhere near as good as the money that's within the merch that you pretty much you can make these hoodies for like less than $10 a pop and sell them joints for 50 plus. Get away with $100 if you notable enough. You can do all of, ooh, somebody is texting me, somebody that I actually want to talk to. Ooh, I'm sorry, but we gonna have to cut this one short, fam. We're gonna cut this one short, but we're gonna keep going. It's a bad chick. Forgive me, but okay. Keep in mind, everybody has their own spot to play. This individual that's trying to make the hoodies, yeah, you in charge of the merchandise. Okay, all you people that want to be rappers, but you're not prepared to be rappers, you don't have any music, all you got is just freestyles, you just want to be there in name only, play your position until you got your stuff ready to go. You can be management, you could be the engineer, you could be the security, you can be operations, you can be the cameraman like Kanye's homie that filmed the Genius. You dig? If you find your spot, then you can run with somebody who's actually making it happen until you can get yourself off the ground. This is how it's done. That's $1 million worth of game. That is like super deep. That is real talk. Real talk. One quote that was said that was actually fire said, yo, can't teach you. You cannot teach what you don't know. And you can't lead where you can't go. Bruh. You gotta have that experience. You got to know what exactly is going on. You got to know everything in order for you to bring others along. But sadly, when you look at a lot of these people who's doing podcasts from like Fresh and Fit and all these people like that who couldn't show you a bad broad that they was actually with, but yet they want to tell you how to get some. Like, bruh, true leadership comes from people that actually experimented, that actually do things, that actually show you how to do it because they've been there. Like I told you, like in terms of this channel, I can show you how to get 2 million views. Timing is everything. Get your artwork together. Have the right content for whatever you're trying to do. Be consistent. I can give you everything step by step because I did it multiple times. I can do it, and you can see my history of how I did it. Don't listen to people who just try to tell you something without having the evidence of them actually doing it. You can learn from their mistakes. You can listen to their stories on where they went wrong and all that stuff, where that can fit in, that works. But ultimately, take the cues from the people that's doing it. You feel me? One of the main things I guess we need to definitely talk about, one of the things that we definitely have to talk about is when Wallow broke down into tears, pretty much, talking about how, you know, he couldn't grow as a man, he couldn't be successful, he couldn't do anything in life until he forgave his brother's killer, and due to that he broke down in tears and he wanted to tell people, yo, this is why I do this show. I want to give you the game. I want to show you that, you know, these streets and all this murder and things that's happening, and always keep that in mind. He's doing this because it's clearly Chicago. Clearly Chicago, you know, a lot of the gang violence, a lot of death is happening in there, a bunch, just based off of, you know, how the streets operate or how all that is. So he wanted to take this opportunity to show people the other ways, and when you start forgiving and letting things go, and you don't have to self-destruct and go down the wrong way and kill yourself in order to actually show something, in order to prove something to the block and all that. You got a lot of potential to do anything in this world. This life is ultimately your sandbox. You only limited yourself. You dig? When you can go out there and get it, then you can go out there and get it. But you can't let things, like, and I know it's deep and I know it's hard to say it, like you can't let the deaths of people that's close to you actually affect you forever and keep you in a mindset that will not ever allow you to grow. You have to do what's best for you because these women are depending on you. Your children depending on you. This world is depending on us to become the best men as we can to continue to build and become great. And we all have the potential to become great, but we get so stuck into the street life. We get so stuck onto things that in the grand scheme of things of life, once you grow older, you realize that wasn't even all that important. That wasn't something that I should have let derail me from becoming great. Something to definitely think about. Much respect to Wallow for that. Another key part of game that was said here is how Lil Durk said this. Like, yeah, you know, man, people fear you becoming bigger than them. So therefore, they never going to put you on. And how many times have I told people this consistently for all my viewers who've been watching me over the years? How many times have I told you? People People will only do for you as much as they can to keep you where you're at. I live this all the time, dude. Like, even these people that will claim that they your friends and they gonna do anything and everything for you, but when everything hits the fan, when it comes down to break down the dollars, when it comes down to who's going to see the shine, who's going to do what in this, they need you in a certain position, so they'll try to keep you in that position because odds are you found your own position to play within the team. But when you begin to climb and do more and become the priority, when you are the one that's starting to get money, these people gonna be like, yo, man, nah, I can't let you outshine me when my whole brand is for me to shine. Well, there's logic to that, but at the end of the day, you as the individual trying to come up, you got to perceive that and always put yourself ahead of such things. You always got to fight for your own. You got to always be your own man. Don't just rely on people that claim that they your friends and claim that and they have better positions than you because they got to that certain point that they actually are making paper off of it. Like, you fill up your gap on where you need to be, and you continue to climb for yourself, and you look out for your people, man. Hey, man, show love, do all of that, man. That's your dog, puts you on. Never has to be beef, never has to be anything, but you always do you. It's like the movie Scarface with Frank. Like, what did Scarface tell Frank before he killed him? He was like, yo, I always did me on the side. I always was going out to get what I needed to do, but I never went against you, Frank. You were my friend. That's how you do it. That's how you operate. You never go against the people that put you on. You never go against your relationships. You never go against your friends unless they end up snaking you like Frank did Tony. That's the point where you do that. And that's where when Lil Durk was talking about how he toned down $400,000 because he needed the relationship and he would have lost the relationship if he did the $400,000 show. He saw the long-term money was way more important than anything. And the reason being is because that relationship is always going to get you more money, but that venue is only trying to get you in a show one time. He's wise beyond his years. Mad respect to Lil Durk. Mad respect to everybody, man. But you know, as I said, I gotta go. Got this bad broad hitting me up, and I'm going to have fun talking to her. So, everybody out there, I appreciate you for coming through, watching this video, all the playbacks, all the views, all the people that was in there. What up, Sean? I didn't even see that. Sean says, I like podcast interviews more than radio station interviews. Respect. And that's because, like, these personalities that's within the podcast, we came up on them. We know who these people are. We respect these people way more than these radio interviewing people, except for maybe, like, say, Charlemagne and all of these people. Like, we know these people, but yet these podcasters are people that were within the game that we looked up to at one point in time, and now they building their own businesses and they're giving opportunities to young artists and all that stuff. Dope. Phenomenal. And I feel you. Podcasting is becoming an integral piece of building brands and things of that nature, and I'm happy for it because radios be so much on that nonsense. You dig? They only want to promote the BS. They never want to actually help individuals without a name, like how Lil Durk was putting on all of his people. They never let no names come up to the radio to do radio shows. It's always people that's either buzzing or the record companies put them up there so that they can try to build a name. But honestly, those are like the only ends that you get unless you're in like New York, and New York will sometimes, and maybe LA, and maybe Miami, but that's it. Those are the only places that just maybe give an opportunity to an up-and-comer that's within the city that's not connected. You dig? Maybe they have a relationship with the people directly. Who knows? But ultimately, I think it's a great positive step in terms of music that we're getting our own media mechanism for entertainment. Like, I subscribe to the black media in terms of looking at the news of what's going on with black people in general, like how can we fight for reparations and things of that nature. I subscribe to that, but we're only just now like getting to the point where our music is getting its own agenda, where we're getting our own media presences that people are going to watch, where we're getting hundreds of thousands of viewers. Like, that's fire. But that's all I wanted to say today, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Be back later tonight for album review. It won't be this one. It might be Tana Talk 4, or it might be what's his name? Tyler the Creator's friend, Orange Rex the Orange, or whatever his name is. I might be doing a review of one of those two. Not entirely sure yet, but appreciate y'all. Catch y'all in a minute.